I came over my fear of speaking out my ideas in a public forum, of speaking about ideas even though they are not making the consensus. Welcome! This video is a bit different. I want to share with you everything I've learned during 1 year on YouTube, hopefully to help you grow faster and understand better the process I've been through. The first thing is that I completely underestimated how much time it takes to make a good video. You need to learn to manage sound on video, you need to record yourself, you need to find a good way to relate to the camera, you need to learn to make footages, to integrate them, to set the pacing of your videos. I had to develop my own techniques so I could produce videos fast and edit them without spending 8 hours just on the audio. For example, I developed a technique where I freeze if I don't know what I'm talking about. As you know, when people do jump cuts, you can see it because they change pose during cuts and it gets annoying fast. So I developed a technique when if I'm thinking about something, I just don't move. And that way I can cut entire silences and it looks like nothing. To be honest, I've never seen anybody explain this technique in any video on YouTube, so I'm pretty sure I'm the only one doing that. The second thing I learned is to get over my fears. I was terrified of speaking publicly, of recording my ideas and of showing them to the world. So I decided that I would force myself to publish one video a week, no matter what. And it was my responsibility not to be really horrible, because this video would go out into the world with my face on it, with my first name on it, and someone might recognize me from the video. It's still an ongoing process. At the moment I can look straight at the camera to you guys, I can talk, I'm starting to have fun on video, but I'm still terrified of so many things. And as some YouTubers say, if you want to grow on YouTube, you need to have a great personality or unique editing style or great content value. And while I think that I have the content value, I don't really have the delivery. I'm still very scientific and very stuck up in the way I'm delivering things. In short, I'm feeling very Swiss when I'm making videos. And I'm gonna tell you why I feel very Swiss, because it's going to sound a bit strange to you, but I grew up in villages. And for example, we don't value looking fancy. It thinks a bit egoistical and vain. So when you go to LA and you see this woman with perfect makeup, perfect hair, perfect car and fancy things, to us in Switzerland, it feels like way overkill. People who have money investing in high quality objects that they're going to keep for a long time. And most of the people are then dressed into sport clothes because it's the highest quality material, the most functional, and you end up with people just looking that they're going to hike every day. Which is fine, but it's not exactly the way you want to look fancy on the internet. Swiss culture really also doesn't have this idea of promoting yourself. It feels a bit vain and arrogant. It feels like you should not promote yourself, you should have other people speak highly about you and your work should prove by itself. But on the internet you have to do self-promotion. You have to tell that you are the best, that your ideas are unique and original. And it took me months just to be able to add like best or original in an idea of a title, because I didn't feel like I could confidently say that I was being the best. I don't know, it feels arrogant. It feels like I can do a great job. Sure, I can be original, sure, but how do I know that I'm doing the best? So that was a bit of a challenge. In 2021, I'm trying to get past these ideas and these beliefs by using a technique where you borrow values and beliefs for a short while and you try them out. It's a bit like role-playing with different ways of living in the world and seeing what gets better with you. So for example, I'm trying to be more direct when I speak to the camera, I'm trying to be more energetic in the way I speak. I don't want to be, how do I say, I want to be taken seriously as a scientist, and I'm afraid I'm not good enough to do that. So I was trying to compensate by doing a lot of work, by really preparing my videos on my ideas, by challenging them, by overthinking them to make sure that it would at least be good enough. But it's cutting a whole part of my personality. I like making jokes, I like silly things, I have a lot of hobbies. And I want a way to integrate both aspects of my life so I can be taken seriously when I talk about things, but when I can also be silly and quote François Pérusse or other humorists without shame and without feeling like you, my viewers, are going to stop watching me. The first thing I realized is that it was pointless for me to study the subject. You actually need to do it. If you wanted to start a YouTube channel, everybody's right, just start it. Make a crappy video with a small title on a channel and get it out there. Because just the fact of going through these steps of editing the video, of learning the software, is such a giant group of skills that you need to go through just to put like one edited video out there, that you need to start somewhere. And I realize now when I watch interviews of good YouTubers who are successful, I much better understand the advice that they were giving. It felt like it was a bit easy, or too simple at times, but now I can see the nuances. And usually when good YouTubers who have producing content for years give advice, they speak about their weaknesses and their failures, on these tiny things that they realized made a big difference when they could get over them. For me, it was the pacing. I'm being much more aggressive in the way I edit my videos. I did footages on music, so you guys are entertained, even if the idea is slightly more complex or less interesting, but also being more active in my voice. Because you don't realize it, but I was having an echo problem with a microphone, so I bought a fancier microphone, but I was still having echo problem. And I see in YouTube videos that they put all these things on the walls, and I didn't want to do that. But what I realized I could do is that I could speak softly into the microphone. So now I have a very energetic voice while speaking quite softly into the microphone, so that I don't get too much echo. But in terms of my YouTube journey, it was not very easy. I tried to make my first video over 1.5 years ago, and I felt horrible.
Dans cette vidéo, je vais vous expliquer pourquoi les professeurs sont prisonniers de leur propre université.
I actually put the camera somewhere on a tree and tried to record myself in the forest. I could never watch that footage. I'm still terrified at the idea of watching it, which is why I pushed myself to publish my first video. But it took about 4 or 5 months before I could start to hear my voice at a normal speed.
What I was doing is that I was editing the video by having the sound speed play faster and not looking at the video at all, and that way I could actually cut my dialogue into something that looked normal, and I would then cut out the sound and try to make the video look prettier, but I hated looking at myself.
And about 6 months in, when I went to Venice and I made the video on the postmodern condition, I started to be okay with watching myself talk. It was not very comfortable, but at least I was not cringing every step of the way. And this showed that I could increase the quality of my video because I was ready to face myself. And around Christmas, because this year has been quite challenging, I decided to cut off social media and news and to really limit the amount of inputs I had from the external world, because I was starting to be stressed and anxious. You know, as winter is coming, there's not much to do because your social life is stopped, basically. And at that point, I decided to grow more comfortable with my own thoughts and ideas, because I realized that there is no reason that some people can just think about a topic for 10 minutes and discuss it on video and feel comfortable with it, and I would have to spend 5 days on it and feeling discomfortable with it. So my next step of self-therapy on YouTube was to force myself to make lighter content, maybe with ideas that other people already heard about, and mixing new original takes with more common ones, and learn to be satisfied with the process. And this year I decided I would get comfortable doing all of the weird YouTube things that people are doing, like doing photo shoots of myself, like playing with the camera, making jokes. Making fancier thumbnails that don't look like I'm a Protestant from a Calvinist origin growing up in Switzerland. And yeah, in a sense, I want to grow comfortable playing it like the American woman from LA or from New York, agency or who worked into marketing. And so to be honest, I don't really have enough clothes. And with the events of the last year, I don't really go anywhere fancy, so you get a lot of views of my living room. I guess a lot of people are in that situation. But what truly amazed me, and I'm going to conclude on that, is how many fears I came over. I came over my fear of speaking out my ideas in a public forum, of sharing them to strangers, of speaking about my more original or special ideas, of speaking about ideas even though they are not making the consensus, of sharing ideas that are maybe not what everybody's talking about, but that I think are interesting points to bring to the conversation. When I get comfortable taking pictures of myself, recording my audio, editing my audio, recording my video, I'm starting to have fun and not fear the camera. And in general, it's been a journey where I learned so many skills that I'm really enjoying. And if you've been following for a long time, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. And if you are new, I would love it if you like the video. I'm trying to see how many people can like a video I'm making. And if you want to subscribe, feel free to do it. Thank you so much for watching.